Well, good day, everyone. I want to take some time and I want to read God's Word, and then I want to consider what possibly could be the cause for the things that Jesus says, and also the cause for why the prophets in the Old Testament say the things they're saying, and they actually record what people would be saying when events begin. And then when we look at what they say, we're going to compare that against what we know the conspiracy of Planet X and Nibiru, what they say is going to occur, and see if the two will line up, and come to the conclusion as to whether the Nibiru Planet X phenomenon is really what's going to occur, and that's why the Bible was written the way it was written. And the mystery that's in the Bible about these events is being caused by what we know to be Planet X and Nibiru. And then we're going to take a look at a few prophetic words that are written about this mystery planet. So if we read the words of Jesus, we can see right here it says that when these events begin, there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and the perplexity and distress of nations, and the roaring of the seas and the waves, people fainting with fear and foreboding of what is coming to the world. So something is coming to the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken, and then they will see the Son of Man. Okay. And you go down here and it says this. Jesus says, he warns us, says, but watch yourselves lest your hearts be weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness of the cares of this life. And that day, a singular day, will come upon you suddenly like a trap, for it will come upon all those who dwell on the face of the earth. Pray that you have the strength to escape all these things. So I want to just concentrate on what is coming to the earth that could possibly cause people to be acting this way. Let's jump to a study document I have. You can download this document in the comments section. So I want to read these Old Testament prophecies of when something terrible is coming upon the world. And I just want to say something. This has never been, you couldn't pay a minister to sit there and preach on these prophecies from the pulpit. Questions, why is that? Anyway. Okay, so let's read these prophecies real quick. And what possibly could be the cause of people saying these things or doing these types of things. Okay. On a bare hill, raise a signal or a sign, cry aloud, wail, for the day of the Lord is near, as destruction from the Almighty it will come. Therefore, all hands will be feeble, every human heart will melt. They will be dismayed, pangs and agony will seize them. They will be in anguish like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at one another with their faces aflame. The earth is utterly broken. The earth is split apart. The earth is violently shaking. The earth staggers like a drunken man. It sways like a hut. That's Isaiah 24. Jeremiah 30. Thus says the Lord, we have heard a cry of panic, of terror, of no peace. Ask now, can a man bear a child? Then why do I see every man with his hands on his stomach like a woman in labor? Why has every face turned pale? Alas, alas, that day is so great that none is like it. It is a time of distress for Jacob, yet he shall be saved out of it. Ezekiel 21. This sounds a little bit like Luke 21. As for you, son of man, groan with breaking heart and bitter grief. Groan before your eyes. And when they say to you, why do you groan? You shall say, because of the news that it is coming. Every heart will melt. All hands will be feeble. Every spirit will faint. All knees will be weak as water. Behold, it is coming, and it will be fulfilled. Desolation, desolation, ruin. Hearts melt. Knees tremble. Anguish, loins, in the loins. All faces grow pale. Joel 2. Before the peoples are in anguish. You get the idea here. The sun will be darkened. The stars will withdraw their shining. So these verses are describing something absolutely, totally catastrophic upon the earth. What possibly could that be? So I want to jump to the NASA has told us about a system, a star system that's got a brown dwarf star at its center and 7 planets. They give us all this information. They say it's 40 light years away. 40 light years away is really far away. I went over this in another video of mine before. So a brown dwarf star with 7 planets. If we go to Revelation, Okay, we see after the sign, the great sign in heaven, which the astronomy software says is going to occur on September 23. It says after that, or around about that time, another sign appears in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, a brown dwarf star, which produces infrared light, with 7 heads and 10 horns. This seems to be this NASA system that's been leaked to us. They just had to leak it to us. They felt the need to do this. I don't know why. And they talk about how it's 40 light years away. It's in our solar system right now. And the 6th or 7th planet is considered to be Nibiru. That's basically what the conspiracy theory folks say. Okay, so in ancient times, there was a book that was written called the Colburn Bible. I'm not going to say the Colburn Bible is absolute truth. Basically, it's a history book. It speaks of a large celestial body they call the Destroyer. And it speaks of how this destroyer came then and caused massive amount of destruction. And now it predicts that it will come again. You can go to this website, look it up. It predicts, and these are the chapter and verses where it predicts this destroyer is going to come back again. And when it does come back again, it's going to cause absolute pandemonium. It even says blood drops are going to drop upon the earth when this event appears. When the blood drops upon the earth, the destroyer will appear, and the mountains will open up and belch forth fire and ashes. Trees will be destroyed, all living things engulfed. Waters will be swallowed up by the land and sea. Now, if we go to Revelation chapter 6, Revelation chapter 6 is the six seals, and the 6th seal says, when he opened the 6th seal, I looked, and behold, it was a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth darkness. The moon became like blood. The stars fell from heaven. The skies vanished away. And the kings of the earth, they ran. The great ones ran into basically the mountains, to their deep underground military bases, and said, fall on us, for him who sits on the throne. His wrath is coming. I'm paraphrasing. But look what it says. And the full moon will turn to blood. So, going back to what the Colburn Bible says, and once again, I'm not standing up and stating the Colburn Bible is gospel. But it makes these descriptions. It was written, we think, around at the time of Christ, but it was written actually from previous documents dating way back to the time before the Exodus too. So maybe 3,300 years ago. So in the Colburn Bible, they call this object the Destroyer. And it turns out in our own Bible, you can download this document, that the book of Jeremiah refers to something called the Destroyer. Jeremiah 48:8, the Destroyer shall come upon every city. No city shall escape. The valley shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed. The Lord has spoken. Okay, so Jeremiah 48 is the chapter of Jeremiah where it speaks that every city, this hasn't happened yet. This isn't some Old Testament fulfillment of some old prophecy. This is a world destruction. No city shall escape. The valley shall perish. The plain shall be destroyed. Now compare that with what Jesus says in Luke 21. It's the same kind of thing. No city shall escape. Pray if you have the strength to escape. Jeremiah 6, verse 26, O daughter of my people, put on sackcloth, roll in ashes, make mourning. As for an only son, most bitter lamentation, for suddenly the destroyer will come upon us. Suddenly, look what Jesus says. And on that day will come upon that you suddenly like a trap. The destroyer is Planet X, folks. Do I need to make that more clear? I gave a little intro here. You guys can read this on your own. But in the Colburn Bible, like I said, there's this object called the Destroyer. Here's some of the Bible verses from the Colburn Bible. The words of Jesus. Jeremiah speaks of this destroyer. He speaks of it again. Let's keep reading. He even says a time in this in Jeremiah 15. I have made their widows more in number than the sands of the seas. I have brought against the mothers of the young men a destroyer at noonday. Here we go. We got timing. That's just like Amos 8. I have made anguish and terror fall upon them suddenly. We go suddenly again. And Amos 8 says, and on that day I will make the sun go down at noon. I will turn their feasts into mourning. Well, the Feast of Trumpets is September 21st, 2017. I will make them mourn like mourning from an only son. We just heard that up here. For an only son. Now this is Jeremiah. This is the prophet Amos. Okay. Jeremiah 51:56. For a destroyer has come upon her, upon Babylon. That would be the United States now, since we've been taken over by Babylon. The CIA, in my opinion, and the shadow government is Babylon. Her warriors are taken, their bows are broken into pieces, for the Lord God is a recompense. He shall surely repay them. Job even speaks of it. Dreadful sounds in their ears, the seven thunders maybe. In prosperity the destroyer will come upon them. The whole world's prosperous right now. We're living off credit card debt, $20 trillion. They're giving it away. They're just throwing money at people. He does not believe that he will return of darkness, and he is marked for the sword. He knows that a day of darkness is ready at hand. Distress and anguish terrify him. All right, so the point of this is to take what's written in the Bible, describe and read and study what's being said, and make the connection. Is Planet X, Nibiru, the cause of it? And I would say it sure seems that way. So you can download this document. I still got a couple things I want to talk about, but this comes from the Sumerian text. This Colburn Bible speaks of a destroyer. Jesus describes stuff. Jeremiah has a destroyer all through his book, all through his chapters. And then when you read these initial chapter and verses I talked about, where people's basically their loins give way, their hearts melt. It is coming. It is Planet X, guys. It's Planet X. Now, so we've read the Bible. We studied the Bible. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look and see what the modern day prophets have to say. Now this gets people uptight. I realize that. But let's just see what they have to say. It wouldn't hurt, would it? Okay. Wendy from Urgent Words from the Lord. She said three prophetic words that I've been able to find that speak of a mystery planet that causes darkness. Let's go through and read it. Okay, real quickly. January 21st, 2016. That mystery planet that everyone guesses about, but no one knows my plans. Get ready, my faithful, for that mystery planet is about to make an appearance. Father has given many of my children dreams and visions about this mystery body in the skies. It is ominous, it's filled with evil, for it contains many of my fallen angels. Now, if you know the myths about the Anunnaki, they come on Nibiru, and they live in Nibiru. So, there you go. But then it says that my bride will destroy these fallen angels, which is pretty cool. Another word, March 1st, 2016. The planet of mystery comes quickly. My faithful do not know what will occur. My faithful, do you know what will occur when this mystery planet shows itself? Listen here, this is some timing involved. It means that you shall have only a few hours left if you are part of my son's bride. So essentially, the bride of Christ is going to be taken in some sort of departure when the day that this planet shows itself. Now that's some good information to have, isn't it? When the whole world's freaking out, you get to leave if you're part of his son's bride. But that son's bride is a very small portion. 1 in 10 Christians at most. This planet is going to wreak havoc with all your properties on your earth. It's going to put the earth in complete travail. My creation will not know what to think. They are going to know that something huge is happening. Now, what we just read, does that seem to align with what I just read up here? Let's go to Isaiah 24. The earth is utterly broken. The earth is split apart. The earth is violently shaken. The earth staggers like a drunken man. Okay? Look, I guess she could have written this knowing what the scriptures already say, but whatever. Okay, I continue. Let's go to her third word. Okay, this at the end of this second word, she says, soon, very soon, the door will close to the ark. And this will be done when I send for my 3 days of darkness. All of my events will hit one after another. We've heard that on many prophetic words. And he refers to this time as the testing time. I refer to it as the time of trial. I'm thinking there's going to be 40 days of time of trial. Okay, July 19, 2016. This is a prophetic word I've talked about here. On the day that's going to be glorious time of wonders. In Joel chapter 2, it mentions this. I'm not going to get into what it says here, but anyway, it's just, therefore there is a countdown now, for it is only a matter of time before Father's mystery planet will be near Earth's orbit. Then will they be deceived by the fallen angels and your... So when basically this planet comes near, the fallen angels are going to come onto this planet, and they're going to hang out with the president. He'll be with them in the Oval Office, I guess. I don't know. For they will not heed my son's doctrine. My righteous and wise, that would be wise virgins, many great works will they do in my son's might. Father warns, my planet comes to your planet. Great dismay and confusion will come with it. Okay. Those were 3 prophetic words from Wendy. Wendy from Urgent Word. You can download this document and read them and study them. This is another prophetic word that came out from Lisa back in September 14, 2014. I put this word up before. It speaks of 2 events that are sequential. The first set of events is when there's these colorful lights in the sky. The colorful lights in the sky. So this prophetic word really brings 2 sets of events that are consecutive. They're the same day, or maybe the day after the other. It starts off with these wonderful, colorful lights in the sky. Now, Rhonda's husband had a dream about this, but it starts off where people are going to be looking up in the skies. They're going to be astonished at what they see. Their hearts will begin to fail them. They will see great and wondrous signs, and then it becomes terrifying. But before that, it's the dazzling lights of many colors will soon appear and dance across the skies. Some folks think there's going to be some sort of Birkeland currents. It's going to be electrical discharges between those many planets that are spoken of here, these planets that are going to be here. So these things are orbiting the sun. I'm sorry, the brown dwarf star, and they move really fast. Their orbit's like 1 or 2 days. And between these planets, there's electrical discharges. If I can find here. See, these planets. We're going to be looking at it from the edge of this thing, and there will be discharges between them, and that we think was what's going to cause these dancing lights to shine in the sky. Okay. The world will be greatly mesmerized by this wondrous display in the skies across the nations, yet many will be greatly afraid and apprehensive of the things that are happening. While they are saying peace and safety, now if you're keeping up with your world politics, you might know that the UN, the United Nations, has their annual September 21st day where they celebrate peace and safety. Oh, I got it over here. Okay. International Day of Peace. September 21st, every year. It's a day that they're going to come together and talk about peace. And on September 15th, from 9 to 9:30, there's going to be the Secretary General is going to celebrate this day and Day of Peace in the garden at the United Nations headquarters. At the garden. I wonder if Obama's going to be there. Remember how it says in Isaiah 66 how they follow one in the midst, eating pig's flesh into the garden? I just remembered that. So here we go again. Together for peace, respect, safety, and dignity for all. Look. They even got a countdown. 13 days, 2 hours, 42 minutes, 10 seconds. Okay, so let's go back to the prophetic word. And we know that peace and safety, that's right out of the Bible. Okay, so while they are saying peace and safety, which they will be saying that from the 15th to the 21st, sudden destruction will come upon them and they will not escape. Once the dancing lights in the skies subside, many will be stricken with fear and curiosity regarding the appearance of a dark and large celestial body in the skies, which will block the sun's light upon the earth. This is your sign. This is your sign, my children, to go into your homes, gather your families, pray, and seek my protection. Now, when this event occurs, some of the bride is going to leave, but other parts of the bride and the lukewarm are going to stay. And then, according to Bond's blog, the minute this celestial event occurs, within 3 days, darkness occurs, and then you have the 3 days of darkness. Okay, now I'm going to go over that in another video where I'm going to go through the timeline and events and go over and review the 5 departures. But it will commence with a great global earthquake and then great darkness. This is stuff that Bond's blog says the same exact thing. Okay, so I put some scripture down here that I refer to these colorful lights that dance across the sky. That's a banner. That's a sign when the Lord's coming. You can see all these scriptures that talk about a banner being lifted, and when that happens, salvation comes. Departures come. Trumpet is blown. This is trumpet is blown again. Jeremiah 6. I'm not going to read them. 49:22, 18:8, Isaiah 13, Isaiah 11, Isaiah 5. Look, you can read all these and you can study them. When you read the context of these events, you get more insight into what's going on. That's why the Lord gave us these 17 prophetic books to read, not to sit up on a shelf and not ever be talked about. Okay, so I went over 2 different sets of prophetic words from 2 different folks. I didn't get into Bond's blog. She says it's pretty much the same kind of thing. But the point of this is that we read the Bible to find God's truth, and we look around and we see what's going on in the conspiracy world, and the 2 of them are connected. It hurts me when I see these conspiracy guys go on and on and on about what to do about Planet X, when it's in the Bible, and what to do is you pray that you have the strength to escape all these things and stand before the Son of Man. Forget about all that freeze-dried food and water, even though I got a ton of it. I'm not going to need it. I don't plan to, at least. All right. I thought I had something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, this guy here. I mean, here's one of the planets. Okay, this is the one of the websites, WSO. Any time of the day after 3 o'clock, you can go to the Alaska webcams, and you can get a picture of these planets. You can see them in the sky. They're trying to hide them, guys. This is one of them right there. There's 2 of them there. They're there. It's obvious that this is up there. You can get. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think that's probably about it. So, guys, all I want to say here is that you should print this out and show it to your friends. You know, most people are so clueless. NASA's done an incredible job at hiding all this nonsense, all this stuff. And all I can say is that it is coming. It will come upon all those who dwell on the face of the earth. And just pray that you have the strength to escape all these things and stand before the Son of Man. That's what matters. Okay, guys, with that, I'll let you go. Have a great evening, and God bless you.